I better make myself some coffee before I get started on this Labor Day meal. Definitely need some coffee to keep me going, so let me go ahead and make this coffee real quick. These turned out really, really cute. I like the way they look. Let's see. Should I add some more frosting? No. I think my family will like these just the way they are. Hey guys, good morning and happy pre-Labor Day. This is my Labor Day meal video I'm going to be putting together for you guys. It will be part me prepping and getting everything done. Typically, me and my husband go like half and half on our meal. And I'm going to be making 3 things today. And then my husband will be making 3 things tomorrow on Labor Day. When he comes home from work in the morning, he's going to be super tired, but it's what he wanted to do. So we usually do a barbecue for 4th of July, Memorial Day, Labor Day, and stuff like that. But we were craving a soul food meal. So we're going to be making a soul food meal. That's going to consist of the menu option. It's going to be collard greens, and we're going to be doing dressing from scratch. I always tell people that's like the soul food version of stuffing. So dressing is like that. I will be going through all the things that I'm going to be using for what I'm making. I'll be kind of giving you guys like a step-by-step of the things. And if you guys have questions, you guys can always put them in the comments, and I will definitely do my best to answer questions as well as I possibly can. Let's start off with what I'm going to be making first. Like I said, I'm going to be making dressing. So the dressing, I basically use cornbread. I'll go into great detail when I get to that particular thing that I'm going to make. All this stuff over here is going to be used. I'm going to be actually making cupcakes on the morning of Labor Day. You guys will see me making those as well. More so me decorating them, because you guys have seen me make cupcakes before. It's not a cupcake video, so I'm not gonna show from the beginning to end, but you guys will probably see a little snippet of me decorating them. I will be doing the French vanilla cupcake mix. I like that better than just the regular vanilla, so I will be doing that. It has pudding in the mix. I will be doing those. I will be doing some buttercream frosting on top, and I will be doing these colorful sprinkles for red, white, and blue, and that is what will be going on the top of those. The ones that I did for Memorial Day, or was it, no, sorry, 4th of July, I think it was. It was either 4th of July or Memorial Day, one of the two. I did a similar cupcake, so it's going to look pretty much like that. The other thing that I'm going to be making is potato salad. I make my potato salad a certain kind of way. Some people may make something similar, and that's fine. So yeah, let's start off first, because I'm going to be making the macaroni and cheese. Oh, and what my husband's going to be making. My husband is going to excuse the darkness in here, because I'm not using a ring light. That kind of gives a weird kind of vibe sometimes. So it's just kind of gloomy here in SoCal. And this is the day before Labor Day that I'm filming this video. It's 10:30 in the morning, so the sun is not fully out. And the weather's been kind of weird here in Cali. The last couple of days, it's been cooler, but then it's really humid. So it's kind of nasty weather, but then it's kind of gloomy outside. So hopefully you guys are able to, I'm sure you guys are able to see the video good enough to see what I'm doing. So as you guys can see, the water, I'm just going to touch the top of it. The water is already starting to heat up. I promised my daughter that I would make her some oatmeal, so I'm going to try to get the oatmeal on. My Nespresso order came for my, I think it's called pumpkin pie cake coffee pods. I want to get some coffee started, but I feel like I had to get this water boiling first. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to be making macaroni and cheese first. Oh, back to my husband. See, I get sidetracked quickly. So my husband's going to be making some baked chicken breasts, collard greens, and candied yams. Those are the 3 things he's going to make to go alongside my potato salad, my dressing, and my mac and cheese from scratch. So the first thing I'm going to be making this morning is the mac and cheese from scratch. So I'm going to share that with you guys first. So I have my water boiling. I need to add a little bit of olive oil to the water and some salt to the water. I'm going to do that in a second. And I'm going to be using the Barilla Elbow macaroni and cheese. Just 1 box. This is basically a pound. So if you guys are able to get this, even if it's a different brand, that's totally fine too. But I'm going to be using that for mine. And then over here, I have these roasters. My husband loves to use these for Thanksgiving and Christmas and stuff like that, because these stack very well. So basically what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be setting these to the side. I'm going to let that water continue to boil. Once it's completely ready, I'm going to be ready to add my pasta. Once I add the pasta, I'm going to let that boil up. And once it's done, I'm going to put it in this pan. And then that's when I'm going to add 2 sticks of salted butter. Let's go into the fridge. I'm going to be doing 2 sticks of salted butter, which is up here. And I like to use the challenge butter. And here's the thing about me. I like to use salted butter. I use salted butter also for my baking and stuff. You know, sometimes things say don't add, use unsalted butter and stuff like that. I made a gingerbread loaf yesterday, so I put it in the fridge so it doesn't get weird outside on the counter, because it's kind of warm indoors, So I'm going to be using 2 different types of cheeses. I'm going to be using the Colby Jack cheese. And I am going to be using the Monterey Jack cheese. That is what I've been using on my mac and cheese as of lately. And like I said, I'm going to be doing 2 sticks of butter. I'm actually going to, my fridge is going to start beeping in a second. So if you guys hear a weird sound, I'm going to be taking this challenge butter out, and I'm actually going to be melting it in the microwave. I'm doing this one-handed. So waiting for my tripod to get here today. I have a new tripod that I ordered. Hopefully it will work better than the Ring tripod that I have, which is kind of crappy. So it's 2 sticks of butter there. There goes the fridge. And then I'm going to be going to my pantry, and I'm going to be getting some paprika, some seasoning salt, and some black pepper. And that's basically what I'm going to be seasoning my mac and cheese with. Aside from, I'm going to be using milk, and I'm going to put 2 eggs in there too. I'm going to crack 2 eggs, put 2 eggs, whip them up, and put them inside of there. It's supposed to help to make the mac and cheese fluffy. And then I'm going to be using milk. I'm going to be using probably like a cup or 2 of milk. It just kind of depends on how much I'm going to need. So I'm just getting all those items out so I can just kind of get ready for that. So meanwhile, I will return once the water is boiling and I get the pasta going. I'll be coming back to share with you guys the next step, which will be when the pasta is completely boiled. I'll show you guys the boiling pasta, and then I'm going to come back and show you guys when I put it in the pan. For these pans, they're brand new from the store, but I do take all the papers and stuff out. If you guys want to know what size I use to like have plenty of room, this one is a roaster. Sometimes the lasagna pan is good too, but this one's deeper, so that way you just have more room to work and stuff like that inside of there. So basically the plastic lid I don't use because we like it to be flat. So that way I'm able to, this comes in a 2-pack, by the way, and it's like $7. It's kind of pricey, but you know, that's what they cost. I mean, you can't get them at Dollar Tree if you are, you know, looking for price effective items. You can always go to Dollar Tree and get the cheaper ones. I do have a big one from Dollar Tree, but it's kind of like really thin. I like to kind of get the ones that are thick and heavy duty, so I don't mind paying the money for them. I don't mind doing that because I don't buy them all the time. We only get these for like special occasions and stuff like that. So maybe 3 or 4 times out the year, I will get these kind to actually put our food in. That way we were able to stack it in the refrigerator, and I don't mind paying the price on it. And sometimes there's like a deal or like a savings or something like that too, which is nice sometimes. But when it's not, it's okay. I just pretty much get it because it's what I need. So, you know, sometimes you pay the money for what you need if it's going to suit you best. So of course you guys can kind of, you know, use your own caution and your own, you know, kind of decision on what you want to use to actually make your stuff in. If you have a glass Pyrex, you can do it in there. I've done that before too. But typically when I'm making a lot of stuff like this for like a soul food meal for the holidays or whatever the case may be, I like to get these kinds. My husband loves these as well. So this is what we're going to be using. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these apart. I'm going to take the aluminum one out, and I just like to rinse it in really, really hot water. And then I'll dry it, almost like clean it a little bit, you know, then dry it out. And then I will be using Pam to spray the entire inside of it. I'm going to be doing the same thing for the one when I do the dressing so that it doesn't stick. You get what I'm saying? So I'm going to use that one. Just the regular Pam is good to go. If you want to do a butter flavor or you want to do a one with the flour, that's your choice, or the avocado oil, that'll be your choice as well. I typically don't use the Pam for with the flour in it unless I'm baking. The regular Pam is perfect for that. Same thing for waffles and stuff like that. But I will be taking these apart and prepping this so that it's ready to go. I'm going to start making my daughter's oatmeal while I'm waiting for that water to boil. And I will see you guys when these pasta noodles are starting to boil. Okay, guys, so the pasta is done. It cooked up really quick. I mean, really quick. So it's done. You definitely want your mac and cheese to be al dente. You don't want it to get like real soft, you know what I'm saying? Because you don't want it to be really, really soggy. And then you definitely want to use like a big spoon. So I'm going to rinse that off. I'm going to pour the water off of it, and then I'm going to start getting it inside of my pan. And then I will return to show you guys how I'm going to start whipping that up. So here is the mac and cheese. I did spray the pan all the way to the bottom, all the way around the corners and stuff like that with the actual Pam. So I did that. I did do that. So I have my 2 eggs right here. That one's starting to spread. I was going to say it's 3 eggs. And then I have the 2 sticks of butter that are melted. I do my makeup brushes in the background. I'm actually washing my makeup brushes. So they're over there. Those are over there. Excuse me. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to start mixing this up. And then I'm going to whisk those 2 eggs in and the whole bowl of the 2 sticks of butter that is melted. So basically from there, I'm going to continue to season it up. I'm going to add some milk to it. Like I said, about a cup of milk. Then I'll start adding the cheese. Just remember, when you start adding the milk to it, it's going to take away some of the flavor. So you're going to have to go in and season it a couple times if you want to definitely have your macaroni and cheese to have flavor. There's a lot of macaroni and cheeses that don't have a lot of flavor. I mean, it'll be like cheesy and it'll be good because it's mac and cheese, right? But it may not have flavor. So make sure, I'm getting ready to sneeze from the pepper. But make sure that, you know, you season it enough once you add that milk in there. And make sure you put enough cheese in the mac and cheese as well, because sometimes you'll think it's enough because it looks like it visually. But what I like to do is also put some on top. I'm going to be doing a combination of the Colby Jack and the Monterey Jack, which is so good together. I love those. You can use pepper jack or any other cheeses you want if you want to do a liquid one. If you want to kind of put together like a cheese sauce and pour that in instead, or do both. There's a bunch of different options, but this is just my way that I make my mac and cheese. And of course, you know, some of you guys maybe already know how to make it. You guys might make your own, and that's fine too. So I just want to show you guys what I'm doing right now. So I'm going to pour in those eggs. I'm going to put in that butter, and I'm going to go in there and add some milk to it. And then I'm going to season it up some more after that and add the cheese, and then it'll be ready to bake in the oven at 350 for about 30 minutes or so. It only takes about 15 minutes for the pasta to get done. This is one of the easiest things that you can make, and it's super simple. It's a little detailed as far as like making sure it's not going to be thick and like hard together. You don't want it to burn. You don't want it to be stiff. You want it to be fluffy. So if you do some of these things here and just balance out the flavor and stuff like that, make sure you have enough milk, cheese, balance, then you'll be good to go. And it's super easy. This is a pound. It'll be enough for my family for, you know, at least 2 or 3 days, and we'll be good to go. So family of 4, me, my husband, and my kids. So let me go ahead and start pouring all that stuff in here, and I will be back to share with you guys how it's going to be looking before I actually get ready to bake it. So the mac and cheese is still looking the same, but you guys are just going to see me add some milk to it now. So you'll be able to see kind of the milk creeping in. Hold on, let me show you how it looks. You can kind of see the milk in there. You guys see that down there? You won't see it until it starts to kind of move through the mac and cheese. So like I said, I do about 2 cups of milk because you just want it to be, you want to make sure, you want your mac and cheese to be moist. You know what I'm saying? You don't want it to be all dried up and stuff. I mean, I live here in California, and, you know, I'm just going to say some restaurants have, you know, some clumpy mac and cheese. It tastes good, but it's clumpy because, you know, it's stuck together. I think a lot of times mac and cheese is kind of like that, I think. But, you know, you can try your best to try to get it as moist as possible by, you know, how much milk you add. But like I said, milk is almost like, if you look at milk almost like water, as soon as you add the milk to it, it takes the seasoning off. It's just like if you were to boil some pasta in water, and then you add a seasoning to your pasta first and then add the water, all the seasoning is going to come off of the pasta. You can see that happening in the water. So basically that's what happens. So now I'm just going to start taking handfuls of both the Colby Jack and the Monterey Jack, and I'm going to mix it into the mac and cheese. Mac and cheese only takes like 10-15 minutes to make. Seriously, it's super simple. This is where I'm at with the mac and cheese. So basically I'm adding the cheeses. I want to show you guys how it looks. So I'm going to do the Colby Jack and the Monterey Jack, like I said. So now I'm just going to start mixing it, just kind of incorporating it into the mac and cheese. And I'm going to keep doing that. And then from there, once I feel like I have enough cheese in there, I'm going to keep adding more milk if I need to get some more moisture. I'm going to add some more seasoning in there, and then I'm going to top it off with cheese on the top. If you want to put like some parsley or paprika or something like that on there, make it look pretty on top, you guys can do that as well. So I'm going to be doing that, and that's pretty much it as far as me sharing that with you guys. If there's anything that you feel like you need to know a little bit more of or anything like that, I pretty much have like kind of like my measurements that I kind of make up myself. It's based on like people telling me how to make it and people I watch, and kind of like me making it my own way. It's kind of like how I have it, but I don't have like an actual recipe. I mean, I could put a recipe together, kind of eyeball it, but I kind of season to taste, you know, what I like to get like a good flavor. You know, like I said, you know, milk, all that stuff, the egg, the butter, that's kind of what I do, but you guys can tweak it. And this kind of just gives you like an idea on how to do it, because some people are like, oh my God, mac and cheese from scratch, that's hard. It is one of the easiest things, I promise. It's just like a box cake. It's so simple to make. So yeah, so I'm going to start mixing this up. I'm going to get it in the oven. I will show it to you guys when it's done. The next thing I'm going to show you guys is the potato salad. It's going to be even quicker for me to show you the potato salad. The dressing's a little bit more detailed, but this probably was going to be a long video. I'm going to start dropping this movie into my my video so I can start seeing how long it is. I don't want it to be like super duper long for you guys, because I know, like, you know, I could really give like a lot of detail and it's like super long. So I'm going to start putting all these parts together so I can kind of see where I'm at, where I know I need to just kind of like cut some timing on it. So I'll try to get it as quick as I possibly can, but you guys will definitely get all this for the mac and cheese. My husband's part tomorrow is a little tricky because he may start cooking tomorrow, like when he gets home and I'll be asleep. Like he'll probably start cutting the candy yams and the collard greens and stuff like that. But I'll make sure once I'm done with all my stuff today, I'll kind of give you guys an idea of what he does. It won't be exact. You guys will see it when it's done and stuff like that. But it will be like kind of an idea of what we use and kind of how he makes that. Because he does make those 3 items. I don't. So I will share as much as I possibly can. But I will be back once I put this in the oven. I'm going to start cutting my potatoes down for my potato salad. And then I'll show you guys how I'm putting that together as well. Okay guys, so here is the mac and cheese. It's all done. It's ready to go. The top might be a little, you know, it gets kind of hard around the top a little bit. So when you bake it, just know, you know, those of you that have never baked one before, it might be kind of a little bit hard on the top, like a couple noodles and stuff like that will kind of be hard on the top until you kind of dig in. Sometimes when you make the mac and cheese too, it will look like it's uncooked in the center. So you can put it back in the oven, like, you know, low, put it on like maybe 250. I think that's the lowest the oven goes to, like maybe 250. Just put it in there and then cover it with foil, and then it'll just continue to bake. And then even so with the macaroni and cheese, sometimes it just kind of looks like that in the middle, because I have gone to restaurants and it looks like that in the middle. So that's kind of like normal too, if that makes sense. So I'm making my potato salad now. I want to show you guys just very quickly what I'm going to be doing. So these potatoes are almost done. I must have peeled about like 8 or 9 small potatoes, and that's going to make like a good pot. And these are pretty much almost done. So I'm getting ready to actually dump the water out of these potatoes. And then over here, I'm going to put them inside of this bowl that I have here. And I'm going to be putting them in here. I'm going to be adding in, you know, the mayo. And again, I don't measure anything. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. You know, I use almost a whole bottle of the real Kraft mayo. I'm going to use like probably like 3 to 4 tablespoons of homestyle relish and about 2 tablespoons of yellow mustard. I know some people may be saying, why are you putting mustard in there? The mustard is not for flavor. It does give it like a little bit of a, like a spicy kind of savory flavor. But basically, this is basically my mom's recipe. My mom uses the mayo, the real mayo, the home style relish, a sweet relish, and then just a little bit of yellow mustard. So she pretty much was not a big mayo person, my mom, and she still makes hers like that with just a little bit of mustard. So I just mix the mustard in there because that's just how she made hers. My grandmother loved it to death, my mom's potato salad. And so it's very good. It does come out really, really good. And then, of course, I'm going to be adding some just regular white sugar in there. And I'm just showing you guys that I'm using white sugar, but I usually use like probably like a cup or 2. But between a cup or 2, depends on how much you're using. So you can kind of like do that sparingly too. And I mean, if you don't like eat sugar and stuff like that, you have to kind of make a substitution there. But I will add the sugar in there. The Vlasic sweet relish does make it sweet, but not enough to give it that sweet flavor. So I do use the white sugar. And of course, you guys can use more or less. It's between 1 and 2 cups, maybe a cup and a half. It's just kind of like, I'm just kind of giving you guys like a little bit of a measurement, but you always, you know, mix up your stuff, taste it, see if that's what you like. And then once I'm done mixing everything up the way that I want and the consistency that I want, I'm going to then top it with some seasoning salt, and then I'm just going to cover it. I'm going to be using this Williams-Sonoma bowl that I got from my wedding. Oh my God, back in 2009, there's like a set. So I like to use this for my potato salad. Even if we were going to do barbecue, it will stay in this bowl until it's gone. I'll just cover it with saran wrap and it will go in the fridge. So now let me go ahead and get this into the bowl. You want to make sure your potatoes are not super soggy because it will be like a watery potato salad, and it kind of will stay like that. It won't necessarily firm up that much in the refrigerator. So you want to be careful with that too, like a good balance of how you actually put the potato salad together. So here goes the potatoes. I'm basically just going to chop them down. I'm just going to kind of mash them down. And then that's when I will start adding my mayo. I'll start with the mayo. And then after I add quite a bit of mayo, like I said, almost the whole bottle. Once I do that, I will add the Vlasic sweet relish. And then after that, I'll get that all balanced out. And then I'll start adding some sugar. And then the mayo will be like the mustard will be the last thing that will go inside of there. But like I said, you just have to kind of like, you know, you make this to taste the way that you like it. And, you know, there's no wrong or right way. But like I said, the wetter you make it with all the ingredients, it's going to be like that. And the texture will pretty much stay that way. But other than that, you're good to go. You add your sugar and stuff and you should be fine. So anyways, I will let you guys know how this turns out in a second. I'm going to go ahead and finish mixing it all up. Just kind of squeezing everything in there and mixing it up. I'll show you once I do put everything in there. Guys, I know this space is looking kind of raggedy right now. I have this paper towel down here. I am out here trying to function. Okay, you guys can see the sugar in there. I was just adding a little bit more sugar in there. I did taste it already. It is delicious. So this is how much I have, which is a whole lot. So come get some and come sample it because I need to get rid of it because me and my son are not going to eat this much. But it's enough for like 3 or 4 days. And the kids can definitely sample on it tonight. My daughter probably will eat a little bit of it. She's not a big potato salad person, but it definitely tastes good. So I'm good to go on that. So now the last thing I'm going to do to that is top it with some seasoning salt. And then I'll be good to go. Let me grab my seasoning salt. This is my whole little area over here. I have this clean spoon, so I'm about to scoop some of it out into a bowl because I didn't really eat that good today. I need to pour out the rest of that sugar in my sink. My whole space right here is just a hot mess, you guys. I'm looking like a nasty cook right now because it's messy. But It's messy over here. I'm gonna get it all cleaned up though. I'm not that worried about it. I'm gonna rinse everything off and get it going too. So basically I just kind of go in and top it off like this. Boom, soul food potato salad, okay? So now this is done as well. So I'm gonna take this over here. If I drop this I would just probably boo-hoo and cry. But yeah, so that is done as well. The mac and cheese is done, that's done. So now all I have to do is do my dressing. So I'm gonna eat that little bit of potato salad. I'm gonna answer a couple more messages on my phone. I'm gonna pour myself a little pure leaf tea, and I'm gonna start making my cornbread for my dressing. And I'm gonna get my skillet out. I'm gonna show you guys the stuff that I'm doing with that. Meanwhile, I'll show you guys some of the things that my husband's gonna be doing with his stuff. I'm gonna drop all these into my iMovie. I know I tell you guys the behind the scenes stuff because I'm just open like that. You know, anybody that's creating or crafting, creating a channel, those that are just watching, I don't mind saying that kind of stuff. And you guys will hear me say from time to time, you know what, if you guys made it this far, have another video coming up or something like that. When I say that, that means that that's in the plans. Sometimes I have a couple videos that are already made. Yes, that's the case. I think anybody that is content creating is smart if they can actually make a couple videos ahead. So that way you're able to drop the videos as you have time, as you pace yourself, as stuff comes up, the day of, the day before, the weekend before, you know, things like that. So it's smart to do that. And if you guys have made this far in my video, definitely thank you guys for being here and watching. But I would love for you guys to subscribe and become a part of the Lock with Leilani family, and make sure to like this video and turn your notifications on as well so you guys don't miss another video. I do all kinds of stuff here: shopping hauls, DIYs, baking, cooking, all that stuff. I want to share it all with you guys. And let me know in the comments if you guys are cooking for Labor Day, if you guys like this idea of a soul food menu for Labor Day, and if you guys have questions on anything that I'm making, or any comments or tips in a positive way, of course, you know, hey, in a positive way, definitely send that down in the comments to my way, and I will definitely respond back. So I will be back in a minute. I'm going to take a little 2-minute break, get this cornbread together, get the pans together, clean up my space a little bit, and I'll be back to show you guys how the dressing is going to be put together. Okay, so I already started putting the video together. It's like 21 minutes. I want to try to keep it at like, hopefully I can keep it at 28 minutes or 30 minutes, because sometimes it just be like that, right? So I'm trying to keep it low. So I'm almost done with my portion, but I'm just going to show you guys really quick what I'm doing with my dressing. Hopefully I can talk fast. It's hard for me, but we'll get it going. So this is the Nespresso coffee. This is the pumpkin spice cake that I actually got in the mail. This is the one that I was waiting for. It's a new one. Apparently I have a gingerbread too that's coming. I'm new to the Nespresso world. I've had my Nespresso maker. I have two actually, one upstairs in my theater room and one in my kitchen in my butler's pantry area. I have had them for about 8-9 months now. I'm almost at a year, which is crazy. So anyways, I wanted to show you guys real quick, because you guys are probably not going to see my husband making the collard greens, because he'll probably come home in the morning while I'm sleeping and be making them. And I'm going to be like, oh, okay, they're already cooking. I'll show you guys them boiling, little tidbits of that, and then the meal all put together at the end, and me decorating the cupcakes, right? So I did say that earlier in the video. So anyways, once again, if you guys are not subscribed, make sure you guys subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you guys here, because it's crazy over here, but it's fun and it's flavorful over here, because I put seasoning salt in my food, right? So I'm just teasing. People always say how people don't put seasoning salt in their food. Yeah, seasoning salt is salty. I will tell you that. So go light with that stuff, especially, you know, hey, just go light with that stuff. But, you know, I make sure my stuff is seasoned. I'm just playing. So anyways, this is what my husband uses. These are the cut super greens collard. So collard greens. You want to use about, my husband told me to get about 6 or 7 bags. So of course they're already cut. So you're going to wash them up really good. You're going to put them in a big, huge pot. They make their own water, but you can put like, I think my husband does like a couple cups of like chicken broth, and then he lets them simmer. He seasons them. He cuts up a whole onion. He dices it up, put that in there. Paprika, seasoning salt, garlic salt, whatever kind of pepper, whatever kind of seasonings you like. He puts all that in there. He lets it just kind of cook. And then of course, some people do like a smoked like turkey leg, which I have not been able to find at the store the last 2 days. So he may have to do turkey bacon. I don't eat turkey bacon. I used to eat it when I was a kid. I loved it, but I don't like turkey bacon no more. So I don't know what he's going to do, but usually he'll do like the smoked turkey leg, and he'll like cook that on its own in some chicken broth and let it get tender, and then throw that in so you get that smoked taste. But basically these just simmer and cook on their own. You know what I'm saying? But you need like several bags of them in a ginormous pot. And they end up smelling so good in your house with that onion. You can put bell pepper, you can put garlic, you can put anything else you want to put in there, because everybody has a preference on seasoning. Some people use garlic all the time. Some people don't put garlic in their stuff. I like garlic in my spaghetti and when I make my TikTok pasta, that I call it my TikTok pasta. But if you don't like garlic and all this stuff, you don't have to put that in there. So whatever you choose. But this is just for the greens. I just want to show you guys the greens that he makes. Now for the dressing, my dressing, I'm going to be using 6 or 7 packages of the Jiffy cornbread mix. I'm going to be using 1 stalk of celery stalk. I'm going to be dicing it with my cheese grater here, peeling it, making sure it's fine. I have 1 large stalk of green onion. If the green onion packs are not that big, sometimes they're real big and sometimes they're small. If it's not big enough, get 2. If it's big enough, then deal with the 1. I'm doing 2 bell peppers today because I feel like I never have enough bell pepper in there. You want to dice everything up really, really small unless you like chunky pieces, okay? And then I'm going to be using the Campbell's chicken broth. I did have some in my pantry that were enough to actually use. And then to top my dressing off, I'm going to be doing the store-bought. I know some people are against store-bought. I love the store-bought Heinz. I get the turkey and I get the chicken. It may sound weird, but I mix those 2 together and it's delicious. Also, check out at your store. If you guys like the Jiffy honey cornbread mix, is in the stores. If you guys like the Jiffy, check it out. I found honey. What? So I'm going to be using that to make some cornbread or something coming up because, you know, it's like cozy season, right? And then over here in my skillet, I have a couple cubes of butter because I'm going to saute the diced bell pepper, the celery, and the green onion together. You guys will see that. That's going to go in my cornbread mixture. Okay, so meanwhile, what I'm going to put in that mixture and in the dressing as I put it together is the McCormick poultry seasoning. And I'm going to also be using the ground sage. Okay, the other thing you're going to do, excuse the dishes, you're going to actually make your cornbread. So I have, these are from the Dollar Tree. So I'm going to make 6 or 7 of these individual cornbreads. Now, if you wanted to, you could mix all those cornbreads together in one big pot and put them all in one pan and just make one gigantic cornbread. That will alleviate the, like, you know, the stress of doing too many at one time, but it doesn't bother me. I'm going to make 2 and then put them on the top shelf, make the other 2, put those on the bottom shelf. These are from Dollar Tree. You get a 2-pack of these and just $1.25 for the 2 per set. I'm going to take the paper off and I'm going to, you know, wash them, rinse them off and stuff, add some Pam, and then pour the cornbread in there. And then that's pretty much what I'm going to do with these. See, something's moving around in there. What is in there? Right, what is that? I don't know what's in there. But anyways, I'll look. Let's see. So, and then this is the pan that I'm going to use. This is just like I did with the macaroni and cheese. I'm just going to rinse this out. I'm going to put some Pam in this too so it doesn't stick. And then once I do that, I'll be able to put my dressing in there once the cornbread's done, and then I'll start putting the dressing together. So once I put the dressing together, it's just going to consist of chicken broth to get it nice and moist, and I'll be seasoning it with the poultry seasoning and the sage. Those will be the 2 things that will be going in there to get that right. And then I will actually cover that, and I'll cook that at 350 for like 45 minutes to an hour. And then I'll go and taste it because you want it to be soft and tender. You don't want it to be like really hard, dry, you know, cornbread mixture of making the dressing, right? So yeah, so now I'm going to go ahead and start cutting these vegetables and getting that ready. And then as I do that, I'll show you guys how I'm going to saute it. I'm going to be making my cornbreads, and pretty much you guys got that down. I mean, that's just pretty much me verbally giving you the direction. But I will show you guys once I actually get all that stuff going. So I'm getting closer to the finish line, which I'm really excited about because you guys can imagine I'm super tired right now. But here we go. So here is the pan with the Pam in there. And I did the 3 pans over there for the cornbread. I was supposed to have 6 if you guys remember. Now see, this is why, you know, I know some of you guys are seriously like budget friendly and like cost effective. I'm all for that too when it makes sense. But sometimes, like I said, the pans that I buy at the grocery store, they're expensive. They're pricey. You get like 2 for $7.99 or 2 for $4.99, or, you know, these usually come like 4 for $6 or something. I'll get 2 packs of those. Like I said, I only spend that kind of money on this kind of stuff like twice a year. So it just is worth it to me. I don't have time for this kind of like cheap nonsense. So this is from Dollar Tree. I love Dollar Tree, but this is kind of nonsense. I don't have time to be dealing with this kind of stuff. So the top, you guys remember I had 3 sets of 2. These 3 are not able to be used. You know why? Because when I took the paper off of here, the glue is so thick on there and it's ripping. You see how thin this is? This is like trash. So I just wasted my time with this kind of stuff. Like, I don't have the patience for this kind of nonsense. So this is why I just go with the more expensive stuff. It just makes more sense to me because it's going to work. I know it's going to be thick enough, and I know I will be done right now. So literally, I'm about to put my 3 cornbreads in the oven. I just chopped up the celery. So the celery now is going to go, it's just basically shredded. I just use my cheese shredder, and I'm just going to dump it all in there off of my plate. And then I have the 2 bell peppers, and I have the big bunch of green onion. So I'm just dumping all that in there. So what I'm going to do is let that saute with the butter. I'm going to turn the fire down a little bit, let it cook slow. And I'm going to put the 3 cornbreads in the oven. So those are the 3 right here. Once those are done, I'm going to have to reuse those pans so I can make 3 more cornbread. And then they will go in the pan. And then at that point, I'll be chopping it up. So at that point, I'll be showing you guys how I chop the cornbread up and make it fine. And then from there, you're just going to basically be using your poultry seasoning, your sage, season it up. And then from there, you'll start pouring the cans of chicken broth in there, get the texture you want. Once you taste it and it's good to go, you throw it in the oven. Simple as that. And you're, of course, going to be adding this mixture to that as well. So, yeah, so I will be back when that part is ready. When that part is here, where I'm done with all the cornbreads, I will definitely come back and share that with you guys. So this is how the mixture is looking. You guys can hear it. It's all just simmering together. It's so nice. I just added in all of my seasoning and stuff like that for this mixture. I just put this is the poultry seasoning. I just put some of that in there, just enough to cover it. You don't need a whole lot of it, you know. And then I put the pepper in there, of course, like that. And then this is the ground sage. You guys can see that ground sage. Just put that in there and then just mix it all up and you're good to go. And then you're going to hold on to the ground sage and the poultry seasoning so you can season up your cornbread mixture. Once you pour this into your cornbread, once it's all done, chopped up in your pan, you're going to add this mixture of vegetables, and then you're going to just season it up with some poultry seasoning and sage. And then you're going to be adding your chicken broth to that. So I'm going to turn this down a little bit. My daughter is still sick, under the weather, so I want to take her a little mac and cheese that I made and a little bit of hot tea. So I will return once I'm ready to actually put the dressing together. That will be the last step. And then I'll be baking it. And then that's it, guys. And then I can sit down somewhere because your girl is tired. You hear me? I am so tired. So these are 3 of the cornbreads that are done. The other 3 I had to, you know, switch the pan out. So basically what I'm going to go in and do while I'm waiting for the other ones to get done, I just start on the first couple. Typically, I do 6 or 7 cornbreads in a pan, and I will put all of them in there at the same time. But because I had the snafu with the Dollar Tree pans, thanks a lot, Dollar Tree, I had to just make, you know, 3 at a time. So basically this is how it's looking. This pan seems like it's a little bit shorter. This is the one from the grocery store, this pan. Only those little pans are the ones that I got from Dollar Tree. But yeah, so this is how this looks. So I'm basically just chopping the cornbread up. So this is what you want to do when your cornbread is done. You've already made your bell pepper, your green onion, and your celery mixture is on the stove. It's already sauteed. The fire is off, so that's all good to go. So now I'm just going to be just kind of like flattening this, get this all good to go. I think my pans that I normally get is a little bit longer than this one because this is just 3 cornbreads. Usually I'm able to fit comfortably, you know, 6 cornbreads in here. So I'm going to have to chop this down pretty good. It will kind of, I'm sorry, I'm not in the frame. It will kind of go down a little bit more too once I put some chicken broth in here. This will kind of like flatten out a little bit. But this is basically where I'm at. I'm just chopping this up. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with my poultry and my sage seasoning, which I showed you guys earlier in the video. You guys saw the sage. And then I have the poultry seasoning. So I'm basically going to go in with those. I'm going to get those 4 cans of chicken broth opened up so I can start at least working on this half. And then when I add the other half on top, I'll be chopping that up as well and adding it to this mixture. And then I'll be mixing it all up and making sure that it's seasoned flavor-wise enough, you know, to my liking. That's going to be good for the meal. And then I will also make sure that I put enough of the chicken broth in there to make sure it's going to be a nice moistened amount of you know, moisture in it to get it right. So yeah, so I will return once I start putting all this together. I will come back just right before I put this in the oven so you guys can kind of get an idea of what I'm doing. I'm going to have to work at it because, like I said, this pan's kind of small. So I'm going to have to try to really work at getting those other 3 cornbreads into this smaller pan. I had no idea that this pan was kind of small for what I was going to do. This is enough for the 3. But like I said, it will kind of melt down a little bit once I put the chicken broth in there. But I'm going to have to work at it a little bit because it's a little bit smaller. Or maybe it's not as deep as the other one. I think the other one that I usually get is deeper. Usually when I get these pans, it just kind of depends on which one I see. I don't remember the name of the one that I get every single time. But I will kind of get that. The other thing that I did not show you guys, my husband's going to be doing baked chicken. Baked chicken is kind of self-explanatory. I think a lot of you guys know how to make that. But these are the candied yams that my husband's going to be using. They're yams, just sweet yams, not candy yams. We're making candy yams, but those are the sweet yams, the darker ones. So basically he told me to get like 8 of those, and you're going to cut them up however you want, and you're going to wash them off really good. You're going to put them in a ginormous pot, just like you're going to do the collard greens, so it has lots of room. In a tall pan, a huge big pan. And then you're going to like basically wash those off, and then you're just going to start boiling them. And then while they're boiling, you're going to let them get soft. And then when they're done, you're going to put them in a pan like this so they can go in the oven. You're basically going to create your own kind of sweet sauce. It could consist of like brown sugar, butter, you know, caramel sauce, cinnamon sugar. Like you just make a whole like sauce on the side. make that yourself. Make your liquid sauce on the side. I don't have a recipe for you guys on that because my husband just kind of wings it, but it's delicious. But you definitely want to start with the base of like, you want to start with a little milk, and then you want to do like, and like I said, some cinnamon, some caramel sauce, the syrup that goes like on a sundae. And then you want to do like some cinnamon. You can put some nutmeg in there if you want to. Just basically make a liquidy sauce. And then you're basically going to take that. You're going to pour that all over your mixture of potatoes that are softened inside this pan. And then you're going to put all that sauce over that. And then when you're done, if you want to sprinkle it, the rest of it on top of it with some cinnamon sugar. And then you want to put some marshmallows all over it, the little bitty marshmallows like for hot cocoa. You put the marshmallows over that and put in the oven for 350 and let it bake. The yams will already be soft. So now you're just baking that sauce into it. So basically just kind of wing that part. That's the best way I can tell you because I've never made yams before, but I told my husband today, he's like, I should show you how to make it. I was like, I bet you I know how to make yams. I did make yams for our family back before my daughter was born. My son was really small. My mom used to make, my grandmother made for us growing up, and my great-grandmother, they made what was called a sweet potato pudding. So it's basically like boiling the sweet potatoes, and then when they're done, you mash them up like a mashed potato type thing. And then you put like crushed pineapple in there, and then you put like some nutmeg, and you put some vanilla in there, and you like mix it all up. You put some cinnamon and stuff in there, and it's like basically sweet, but it's almost like it's a texture of like mashed potatoes, if that makes sense. And then it's like something that you just kind of eat on the side. That's what I grew up eating. I didn't eat candy yams until I got with my husband. He made them, and we started going to like soul food restaurants in LA and stuff like that. Cause you know, I'm a little prim and proper. I grew up in LA, but I didn't really go to like a lot of like soul food restaurants and stuff. My mom didn't take us there. We had food at home, and our elders made food, stuff like that. But when I got with my husband, he started taking me to Roscoe's and, you know, different soul food restaurants and stuff like that. So I got a chance to really have like some quote unquote candied yams, you know what I'm saying? And so that's what he makes for our family, and they are so delicious. They really are. But that was just kind of like giving you guys an idea of what he's going to be making, because he's doing, like I said, the baked chicken, the candy yams, and the collard greens. He had a smart idea meaning that he is driving me crazy, because he was like, oh, if I had some dressing, I could like bake the chicken breast with that. I was like, huh? Because I always make dressing on my own by itself. It's always a side. We never bake the chicken with it. So he was like, ooh, I would love to do that. And I'm like, So now I just decided to be nice and whip up like 4 more batches of cornbread. So in the oven, I could show you guys, I'm starting to wash the dishes, but I need to sit down somewhere and drink my water. But I have my last 3 cornbreads that are going to go for my dressing. But then down here, I did what I told you guys can do, is basically take all those cornbreads and make one big cornbread. So as soon as that's done, I'm going to chop it all up within the pan, and I'm going to make him his own batch. I'm going to save a little bit of my vegetable mixture and throw it in there. And then that way I'll kind of like semi-cook it. That way tomorrow when he does his chicken breast, when it's like halfway done, he could throw it in with his dressing and do what he wants to do with it. That's fine. I'm not going to eat that much chicken anyway, because I'm not a big chicken eater. Like I said before in past videos, we don't eat any beef or pork. And so I don't eat a lot of chicken either. So I'm just kind of like not that much of a meat eater. So I'm not going to eat that much anyway. So I don't really care what he does with it. But that's pretty much it. So you guys can see the counter is starting to look a little bit better, because some of the stuff is moving out of the way. So tomorrow these will get put away as well. This is my pumpkin pie spice. I can put that up now. And I'm going to have my husband get a couple more of the gravy, because he's going to need that for his chicken. And then these are the chicken broths that I did not need to use after all. And then I have some vanilla and almond extract back there for my cupcakes. I'll be making cupcakes tomorrow. I'll be making coffee and cupcakes and watching him cook tomorrow. And I'll be sitting pretty because I'm getting all my stuff out the way. And then the marshmallows are the ones he's going to use for the candy yam. So anyway, guys, if you guys made it this far through this video, I know it's a long one. It's a long haul video. I appreciate you guys watching. The last part will be super quick. It's just going to be pretty much me showing you guys how I'm putting the dressing together, just real fast. And then I will be sharing with you guys the cupcakes, but that will be on Labor Day, the tail end of the video. And then it'll be like pretty much a video of us actually eating our meal. So thank you guys for watching. And like I said, I'm filming this video like the day before Labor Day, but I do wish you guys all a happy Labor Day. I hope that everyone has a peaceful, restful day. And yeah, I'll see you guys a little later at the end of the video. Meanwhile, hopefully everyone is well. And like I said, I wish you guys a happy Labor Day tomorrow. So I will return. Okay, guys, so this is how my dressing turned out. You guys can see how it looks. It's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. You guys saw the mac and cheese. This is the dressing. And then my husband insisted on, and then he was like, no, I don't want you to have to make me one too. But I made him a dressing as well. So that's how his looks. Because he's going to like get some like quarter dark pieces or something and put them on top. So that's what I got for his. And it's still good to go. It's nice and soft. This is the one that I made for my whole family situation. So yeah, guys, I pretty much did all that. I'm making myself a little plate of food over here now. And again, it is still the eve of Labor Day. And I'm warming up some gravy over here on my stove. So tomorrow it will be actually Labor Day, and I'll be showing you guys just kind of be like me decorating the cupcakes and getting started. And then I'll kind of show you guys a little bit more behind the scenes of what we got going on. But yeah, everything turned out really great. So here are the collard greens being cooked with the turkey bacon on top. And it's finally Labor Day morning. So happy Labor Day, everybody. So here we go with the collard greens. You guys can see them steaming. And then here are the yams cooking for the candy yams. Yep, so here we go with those two items. Chicken will be cooked a little while, and then I'm gonna do my cupcakes later, and then kind of show you guys a little bit of our day, and that will conclude my video. But I hope everyone has a beautiful Labor Day. Hey guys, so happy Labor Day once again. It has been very busy with just like getting everything done and pulling everything out of the oven. So this is kind of the recap on where we're at. You guys can see the foil's already looking worn. The family is already tearing into the mac and cheese. So good. My dressing, some gravy, the collard greens, and what's with this? Oh, this is the baked chicken breast. More gravy over there. Over here, the potato salad and the candy yams. And then over here, I have my setup for my cupcakes. That's a little cupcake holder that I got from, I got it from Amazon. And it's just plastic. I was hoping that it would be ceramic, but it's not. It's all good. It should work for what I wanted to do. I'm doing a dozen cupcakes, but I'm gonna do 10 on this stand. And then I'm gonna have 2 without any frosting on them. So yeah, so I'm just waiting for those because they are in the oven. Oh boy, we're tired. We're all very tired. So these are making up really nice. They're gonna be nice and big on the top, just as like I like them. 2 cups of cake batter with the cute little cupcake measuring spoon that I showed you guys that I use. I just dropped it in here with the piece on there. So this is how that looks. You guys have seen me use this. You can do a little less if you want to, but this is what I use. I don't know. The pink part is just cute. I mean, I take that off and I don't even use that part. It's just the cover I feel for that, for the inside. I guess that's the way they made it, but I don't think that it needs to, I don't think it's supposed to be used for anything, but that's kind of how it looks. I put it together. So yeah, so I'm just waiting on the cupcakes. I put them in here for about 15, 20 minutes, and they're gonna bake up nice and full. They're looking really good. And that's pretty much it, guys. So I'm going to show you guys once I decorate the end of the cupcakes. That will be the end of the video. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. It's just like kind of business, like just baking, cooking, kind of showing you guys what we're doing. This is real life. I mean, it's nothing fun or exciting about this video. It's just me baking and stuff like that. And it's just like, this is real life. This is how my kitchen looks. You know, this is what it is. I have my frosting over here. These are the frostings that I whipped up yesterday. I went to go use this Pam baking one. Guess what? The nozzle didn't work. So I will be taking that back to the grocery store this week when I go in there, and my frosting is definitely starting to acclimate to the climate in the house, which is warm. And then I just did a DIY, super easy DIY. This is just a jar from Dollar Tree. I took the skulls that came in a pack, a piece of ribbon from Dollar Tree as well from last year, and I just hot glued all those skulls all the way around it. That's kind of how that looks. I think I'm going to put some straws or something in there, kind of like a Halloween cocoa bar type of thing. And that's it, guys. So stay tuned for the decorated cupcakes. I hope everyone's having a good Labor Day and everybody's just enjoying their food and their time with their family. Okay, so I'm all done with the cupcakes. That concludes my Labor Day video for you guys. I pretty much did like red, white, and blue frosting, and then I did little straws on them to kind of have them coming up. I didn't put a lot of frosting on there. My family's not really crazy about it, so just kind of like in the center. But I wanted to make like kind of like a patriotic type looking, you know, cupcake, and I did add frosting with the sprinkles on top of the frosting and then the little straws. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Have a wonderful rest of your Labor Day, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Make sure to like this video, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.